Hey, what's up guys? So today I'm going to show you guys how to replace front brake pads for pretty much any car that uses disc brakes. So let me start off by saying some of the things to notice that you need to replace your front brake pads are that you'll hear a lot of squealing coming from them, or that when you're putting your foot on the brake, like you'll feel like a sharpness, like something is digging into something else. And pretty much what that means is that this brake pad right here, let me open one of them up to show you. I already have it. That means that this brake pad right here has used all of the ceramic beings in it and is all the way down to this metal part, like this whole metal plate. And this metal plate is scrubbing against your rotor. And so also if you see like divots in your rotor, because your rotor should be smooth, if you see divots in it, then that's also a really good sign that you need to get it replaced. And sometimes if you're too late for that, you need to get the rotors replaced too. So to start off, what you're going to need is you're going to need a new front brake pads. Right here, this is not sponsored at all. Okay, so you got a 4 set of new front brake pads. You need high temperature grease, doesn't matter what it is. They try to sell tubes of it for like $8 or $9, but this was $5 at the auto store. This is pretty much an all-purpose high temperature grease. Alright, you're gonna need one of these to break the lugs loose. You can use the factory ones, but I prefer this one because it's a lot easier to do. Also, you're gonna wanna put something behind your back tire on both sides and in front if you have something, so that the car will not move. Along with that, recommended items would be WD-40. You don't need it, but it's helpful if stuff is rusty or it won't come apart. Large mouth pliers. This is used to push the caliper back into place. So you gotta think about it. When the brake is squeezing down, it's stuck in that squeezing position. That's what the caliper is. It's pretty much something that squeezes it down. So once you take the brake pads out, it's still going to be stuck in that position. So you need something that can squeeze this part of it back up. Also, people use those C-clamp things to tighten it down too. That works as well. Alright, and then also another thing right here is you need a wrench so you can bleed your brakes after you're done to get all the air out of it, because you don't know how much air is in it, and you don't want any air in the line, because if there's air in the line instead of the brake fluids, you'll just feel like it's hitting the ground. Like when you put your foot on the brake, it just hits the ground. Also, you need a jack and you need a ratchet set. So let's start. So I started off, I'm going to start on this side. I turn this wheel completely this way, and I'm going to start off by breaking all the lug nuts loose before I jack it up. That's the safest way to do it. You're supposed to kind of go in a crisscross pattern. Alright, so now that they're broken loose, let's jack this baby up. Alright, so I don't know how well you can see this, but you're going to want to find somewhere that's sturdy that you can put the jack on. So right here, it's metal. It's not something that's going to break off. So yeah, you can either do it right there or right here. And I'm going to do it right here. And I like to go, if my car is parked like this, I like to put the jack this way just for added stability, just in case it does start shaking. So you're going to want off. Easiest way to start it off is by just turning it and making sure it's hitting that point good. So like right here. So get it started. Alright, there we go. I get it as tight as I can with my hand, and then yeah, get the rest of your kit with the thing, and then you start turning it. Cool. Now, if you have any car stands, this would be now a great time to put them there instead of using it for this. But since I'm not at my main house, I don't have any. Also, that's why I'm using this car jack instead of a normal jack. But what you want for this is for your tire to be off the ground. And as you can see, this thing is off the ground. So you want to continue by taking off the rest of the lug nuts. And here's when a magnetic plate really comes in handy, so you don't ever lose anything. Just keep them right there. Anything will actually work, honestly.
Why are you so hot? You just 3 miles with it.
Alright, so now that the all the lug nuts are off of it, an added sense of protection would be to put this tire underneath the car, just in case anything happens. So that's what I'm about to go do. And now we're to the part that you probably wanted to see from the beginning. Alright, so let me explain every single part of it to you. So right here, as you can see, there is the rotor. There is supposed to be like a little bit of like, you see like lines and stuff like that. But when you have big digs in it, and like you can see, I have a couple of them. Like right there is one, right there is one. I like a few right now, but I'm just gonna get over it and not do it. But yeah, this is the rotor right here. This is the caliper. And you have to take off the 2 caliper bolts to be able to get to your brakes. As I was saying, this is the caliper. These right here, inside here, there's 2 brake pads. There's one on this side and then there's one on the other. So the thing that you need to do is you got to loosen this one bolt right here and this one bolt right here and take it off. And then this right here is your bleeder valve, and that'll be later on. So right now, let me just take off these caliper bolts. And for mine, it's a 14 millimeter 2008 Toyota Corolla. And again, with the metal plate, put it back over here so you can pull them off. So now just take your caliper off. Holy shit, this thing is fucking hot. Alright, so now if you look over here, as you can see, this is the plate for the brake pad, and it is very short. It is not, it's time to be replaced, to be honest, because you got to think about it. This is the size, the thickness of them. And they need to be a lot thicker than that. Like, this is the comparison. And I just realized they gave me the wrong ones. These aren't gonna fit my car. Are you fucking kidding me? Well, anyway, so I'm getting down to it. Pretty much, yeah, I got the wrong brake pads from yeah, I guess I should double check it, but typically I trust what people say. So yeah, thank you so much, because this is kind of like a have-to. So pretty much, let me just tell you how to do the rest of it, and then you'll figure it out. So you would pretty much take off this brake pad right here. I'll do that. Take it off, and they just slide off. come on. Alright, so you see that? So it just slides off. And then you would do the same thing on the other side. And then they have these brackets right here. And they'll give you 2 new brackets when you buy the brake pads. Of course, they didn't even give me that either. So thank you again for f***ing me over again. This is literally the last time I'm going over there. And then after you do that, you would want to replace it with the new bracket, or replace it with a new bracket on the top as well. Put in your new brake pad on this side, put in your new brake pad on this side. And then up here is the caliper that you have to push back. So that's where these come in hand, or the C-clamps. Because you would pretty much just get these. Let's see. You would put them around it, and then you would squeeze, if that makes sense. Literally. Oh shit. You would put them around it like this, if that makes sense, and then squeeze with all your might. And if they aren't really squeezing that easy, you can literally just come over here to the bleeder valve and open up the bleeder valve, and that'll let go of all the pressure. But I don't recommend doing that because you'll lose a lot of brake fluid, or like more than you normally would. Alright. And then after you squeeze that all the way back down, you pretty much just put the caliper directly back into place. Let's just pretend like these are new. Alright, so yay, I put in my new brake pads. Yippee, yay. New brake pads, alright. So we come over here to the caliper. I mean, these are pretty much the caliper screws. So right here, they come out, and they're supposed to be lubed up really well. And yeah, this one's still pretty good. They should have a little bit of sponginess to them. Whoa, shit, that was a lot of brake grease. So like, this one's alright. This one on the other hand, let's see, maybe it was just this one. Let me pop this one off. They just come off easy. Let's see, yeah, it doesn't really have that much grease. So that's where your grease comes in, so I'll show you that. So you want your all-purpose high-temp grease. Alright, so I don't really want to get this on my hands or anything, so I'm pretty much just going to demonstrate it directly in front of you guys. You just want to take the bolt out right here and just put on some grease. That's literally it. This is a little bit too much, but it's for high temp, and grease never hurts. So you can also just pull it out from the other side too, to try to see if you can just scrape a little bit on the inside, because a lot of it's going to try to come out when you put it in. And yeah, just do that. And this is definitely right here. So yeah, I hope you can see that. So I pretty much put some in it, and then I'm pretty much going to glob it all around it in the hole, because this grease is going to try to get out. So I'm sorry if you can't see that well. And then I'm going to push this boot back into place. Ah, come on now. And if you're having problems putting this rubber boot back into place, pretty much just put the boot back in place and then slowly push the screw in, and it'll go in. Don't forcibly put it in, if that makes sense. Alright, so there we go. So yeah, so now this is a lot better than it was. It's still sticking a little bit, but there's only so much I can do. Alright, after you squeeze the caliper back down, you would then grab it like this, put it back in, put it back into place. Yeah, and that's in place. Alright, grab your screws you started with and just start reverse screwing them in. Alright, now that you got your 2 screws back in place, tighten them down, and then this is when you would want to go ahead and bleed your brakes. You can do it with the tire on or with it off, but I feel like it's easier to do it with the tire off. So pretty much you can either do it 2 ways. You can do it with 1 person or 2 person. two-person I find easier. Get someone to sit in the driver's seat. Okay, they're sitting in the driver's seat. You tell them to put their foot all the way down on the brakes. So they put their foot all the way down on the brakes, and then you open up this valve right here, and they should still have their foot on the brakes. So you open it up, then you shut. You open it up for like 1-2 seconds, then you shut it. Then you tell them let go, and they let go of their foot. Then you tell them to do it again. They put their foot all the way on the brakes, all the way down. Then you open it up again, and then you shut it again. And you do this 4 or 5 times until you see like a good spray of brake fluid coming out. Because the first couple times you might not see anything. So yeah, you just have to do it a few times, and then once you get a pretty good spray, you'll literally know. Then you'll know that you have brake fluid in the lines, and that's what you want. So yeah, I hope this review helped, and again, thank you. It's for the wrong fucking brake pads. Are you joking me? And also, remember that when you put these down and you tighten them down, do it in a crisscross manner. You only want to do them hand tight when they're on a jack, and then fully tight when they're off the ground, because the car will shake back and forth. So I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry that I couldn't actually show you the actual brake pads doing. And subscribe for more. Bye. Oh, and I forgot to mention, yeah, after you tighten these down, after you bleed the brakes and everything, you literally get your tire out, put it back on, put the lug nuts on, and yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys can do your front disc brakes. Subscribe if you like the video, leave it a like, leave it a comment if you have any other questions about car maintenance or anything, and I'll get back to you ASAP. So yeah, talk to you later. Bye. And for all the people that are saying that this is my incompetence for ordering the wrong part or whatnot, or defending whoever, it's kind of frustrating when you go and you actually order online and you pick the part out and you know 100%, that that's the part you need. And right here, you see it says GNAD 323. I double checked my order and I'm supposed to have GNAD 923. So yeah, that's definitely their incompetency. So yeah, that's what's annoying.